Yan. Marami na bang gumagamit ng online PTTFA? I think marami na kasi dami na nagtanong sa akin din nun
Mga sport shooter natin, sir, kasi nationwide, sir. So, yun sir, yun nag-avail kasi pwede naman i-email lang sa kanila, sir, i-Viber.
Correct. Ako sa Viber sa akin, tinanong ako kung email or Viber. Sabi ko Viber. O yun, nakuha ko naman, PDF form.
Yes,
dali.
sir.
So, ang saya. So, anyway, okay. So, alright. So, okay na ba tayo dun sa mga guys, may mga gusto mo ba kayong feedback or anything?
Ako, natutuwa ako dun kasi...
sige, tuloy na tayo.
For the longest time, magagamit ko na rin, mailalabas ko na rin yung PCC.
Totoo. Well, ako, tinest ko na siya, gumana. Up to 3 firearms yung pwede mong kunin sa isang PTTFA. And yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Salamat. So, salamat. Hindi na ako kailangan pumila twice, So, much easier kasi alam mo naman ako. Well, lahat naman tayo dito.
If I remember
go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, if I remember nung first time natin with Ma'am, Ma'am Berna, na-mention niya yan, di ba? And then parang na, paano to access. And then ngayon, second episode natin, confirm, na-test na ni Charles. Okay?
Yes.
So, it's good thing na na-announce na. Time nung first time na na-announce yan dito, ang daming excited talaga. Kasi sabihin maraming maapektuhan ng mga kababayan natin.
Actually, just to add, it wasn't just tested by me, it was thoroughly tested by the community talaga. Gun Owners Committee sa Pilipinas. Because I didn't just, make a video nang ako lang yung gumawa nun. I did it with the help of many people. Alam niyo kung sino kayo. Kasi I had a lot of, lahat talaga, marami nag-test noon, tapos binigyan nila sa akin yung feedback nila. And I tested it as well. So when that video was made, nung ginawa natin yung information na yan, and what we're bringing to you right now is not just one information, talagang proven talaga to. So okay talaga yung accomplishment na yun. It's legit. So we know it works. It's been tested by a lot of people. Okay na. Some areas could still be improved, pero it's still overall much better talaga doon sa dati nating system. So okay. Anyway. There you go. So maraming salamat sa lahat ng tumulong sa PNP FAO para magawa yung system na yon. So ang laking tulong. Okay, so eto na tayo. Ready na ba? Police Lieutenant Colonel Berna sa mga questions?
Rolling.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Alright, here we go. So let's do the questions. Okay, so let me just explain how this goes. Marami tayong mga tanong na from me, from Dr. Lawrence and from Jason din about sa mga current na situation natin, sa mga current happenings and situations sa mga gun privileges natin, mga news. A lot of the mainstream media didn't cover this, so we're going to be proceeding with this. And on top of the three of us, I also took in some guest questions sa mga audience na rin natin. So guys, ganito, if you have any questions, pwede kayong maglagay sa chat ng mga questions and we will moderate it later. Pero tapusin lang muna natin yung mga questions na naka-prepare. Alright? Okay, so sige, let's start na. Alright, so first question natin. Okay, so ito. As you know, nagkaroon tayo nung Ironman na event sa Davao. So there's been a race over there and yun nga, meron siyang gun ban na attached. So the Ironman event, sports event yun guys, for those of you who don't know, yung Ironman, tatakbo ka, lalangoy ka, mag-bike ka. So yun. So ngayon, may gun ban doon sa doon sa Ironman na event na yon. So this is covered ng gun ban yung buong, I think, Davao City. And we also saw this nung ASEAN Olympics.
Yes.
I think that was 1 year ago or 2 years ago. Pero nagkaroon nun. So may gun ban. So ngayon, Ma'am Berna, ano po ba yung yung stance natin sa mga gun bans for sports events? Kasi parang yun nga, alam naman natin na pag mayroong election, talaga nasa batas yun may gun ban. Pero sporting events, are we what's the PNP's FPO's stance on that one? Are we supposed to have gun bans din para sa mga sporting events? Kasi maraming sporting events ang nangyayari sa Pilipinas and it would be medyo nakaka-turn off sa mga gun owners kung lahat ng sporting events ay may gun ban. What do you think po, ma'am?
Okay. Sir, part of the inherent powers of the state is yung power of police power. Diba, sir? tatlo yung inherent powers niya, power of eminent domain and power of taxation. Yung police power of the state, sir, this is to ensure na magkaroon ng order sa isang society, sir. So, yun yung intent noon, sir, is to exercise control over the citizens and their jurisdiction, sir. Kagaya ng my sports event, sir, I'm from Davao City. I was there. I joined the Iron Girl, and when two of my brothers also joined the Iron Man. And then the intention naman talaga nun, sir, there are 42 countries joining the Iron Man, sir. So, and the intention of it was the PRO 11 regional director who requested from the office of the Chief PNP, sir, for the imposition of gun ban in Davao region during that event. Kasi I do believe, sir, their intention is for the safety of the community, sir. And then we are inviting, there are a number of tourists. And then at least, sir, kung may gun ban, meron na yung deterrence sa mga tao. Uy, gun ban, di ako magbitbit ng baril. Tapos, sir, pag may gun ban, pwede kaming maka-establish ng checkpoint everywhere, anytime, sir. So, alam nila, sir, na posible pag may gun ban, marami talagang ma-establish na checkpoint yan, sir, kung saan, lalo na pag maraming tao. So, yun, sir, isang namin yan, sir, is deterrence talaga para maiwasan yung may mga criminal mind na magawa ng, gustong gumawa ng masama, sir, is hindi na mag-isip ng magbitbit, sir. Kasi alam nila na posible na marami talagang checkpoint, which is yun talaga nangyayari, sir, kasi may gun ban. So yun, sir, part of the police power of the state, sir, which is for the general welfare of the community naman yan, sir. Oo, sir. Hindi lang yan during sports events, sir, nagkaroon ng gun ban aside from the election. Naalala mo, sir, during the nag-take out si Code 1, nagkaroon din tayo ng
Sona.
Yes, sir. Yun din, sir. Kaya, yun, opo, sir, yun yung maraming tao talaga, posible na maraming tao, posible na maraming mag-rally, yun, sir, yung natin, sir. Iniiwasan natin, sir, na at least, yun na lang yung namin, sir, deterrent sa mga tao, sir, na magbitbit. Kasi, posible na magkaroon ng checkpoint, maraming mahuli niyan, sir, na illegal possession of firearms.
All right, sige. So thank you for that answer. Okay, what do you think, Dr. Lawrence?
Ako napakagat ako ng labi.
Sige. Ay, Dr. Lawrence, nakamute po kayo.
Nakamute. Mute.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Legally speaking, yeah, that's true. It's a good deterrent. But the thing is, it will only be the responsible gun owner who will not carry like us because we know the law. But thinking the thoughts of a criminal, it doesn't matter, ma'am. Sorry. But this is what we see in places and where crime abounds. Kasi kung criminal yan, sasabihin, ay may gun ban, isipin ko, hindi ako pwede magdala ng baril. But the problem, ma'am, is practically speaking, they are criminals. They don't follow the law. That's the reason why they are criminals. It is only us, the law-abiding citizens, who follow the gun ban. Yeah, that's true that the state has the police power to regulate things, especially for safety. And it's also true that the state can control and check us citizens. So, more or less, it's a good deterrent on the part of the state. But if a criminal person or if a criminal strikes, regardless of the gun ban or what, he will never obey the law. Yun lang po, ma'am. But the risk is, sa kanya yun eh. It's either mamatay siya if he pursues such crime or mahuli siya at mabilanggo. But the general welfare is protected and the people who are generally law-abiding citizens will be the ones who will be following the rules on gun ban. So, yun lang po ang comment ko, ma'am. Iba kasi yung, sorry ma'am, sorry sa mga iba rin ho kasi yung thinking ng mga law-abiding citizens na tulad natin, iba rin ho yung criminals mag-isip. Psychologically speaking, there are so many instances in the whole world that says that the wavelength of their mind is different from the wavelength of law-abiding citizens. But as a matter of fact, that is the, what do you call this, the force of the state that can be used to more or less regulate us. Ang deterrent nga po talaga yan, but it might be applicable to us law-abiding citizens. Pero siyempre, pag may nakitang pulis, magdadalawang isip din yung kriminal pero gagawa ng lusot din yun. Mga yun lang po.
Sir,
Thank you.
buong confidence.
Ma'am, can you say that again? Ma'am,
Ma'am,
wala pong
choppy.
audio. Choppy po yung line.
Pinakamaliit man lang na makapo-checkpoint kami. Yun lang
Yes.
yung
Okay, sige. Ma'am, pasensya na po.
Yeah, I think
medyo choppy po yung
ako
audio.
muna.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sige,
medyo
go ahead,
choppy,
Jason. Go ahead.
Pero sabi ko napakagat akong labi kasi yung yun yung sabi ni Ma'am, it's the intention of the state,
Yes.
to provide safety, para
That's true.
naalala ko yung sinasabi ko palagi, yung the road to hell daw is paved with good intentions. No? Pero meron ako nakuha 1 point kay Ma'am, kasi sabi niya with the gun ban, they will be able to put up checkpoints, no?
Yes.
Nakakapagano sila.
Ako rin. Napulot ko rin yun.
Yun napulot ko, no? Yun lang, Ma'am, yung sinabi ni Doc lang, yung sentiments ng mga legal gun owners, no?
Mm-hmm.
Pag sinabi kasing gun ban daw, ang affected talaga niyan legal gun owners kasi yung criminals by definition don't follow the law. Okay? So kahit na anong ilagay yung rule or order dyan, hindi naman nila susundin. Anyway, pero siguro doon sa point nila, sa side nila, they have to do something.
Yes.
Yung problema lang, doon ang tinatamaan, it just so happen na ang tinatamaan is yung legal gun owners. So lalong-lalo na kung mahaba yung gun ban and then yung permit mo is 1 year lang or 2 years. Kung kunyari 4 months, 6 months ang gun ban, yung mga major elections, tapos magkakasunod, meron na namang sporting events. So parang nababaliwala yung permit to carry, di ba? Tama ba, Doc Lawrence?
Yes.
Lalo na there's money involved.
Ako naman, ang sinasabi ko naman is, syempre lahat tayo, pinoprotektahan tayo ng state, that is the responsibility of the state. Tapos lahat naman tayo na citizens, we have to obey the law. We have to obey the rules of the law itself. So, yun lang ang gagawin natin, mas apektado tayo. Pero at least, you can see na may ginagawa ang state to protect us from any danger or from any harm. It's just that the people from the other side think otherwise.
Okay, agree din ako doon. Alright, well, those are very interesting inputs. May gusto rin akong sabihin, kaya lang 23 minutes na tayo. So, proceed na lang ako. Proceed na lang tayo doon sa susunod na question. Anyway,
Charles,
so salamat.
Charles, excuse me. Meron ka pa bang isang guest na in-invite? Meron pa tayong Are you expecting another guest? May binigyan ka pa bang link?
Wala, Jason. Tayo lang. Sorry.
Wala? Tuesday, ano nakalagay? Tuesday, Agustin. Hindi mo ito binigay? Okay. Pumapasok lang. Okay. Sige. Tuloy na. Tatanggalin ko na lang siya.
Sige. Alright, so next up, yung susunod na question natin. Okay, so ito. I tested yung PTTFA natin. It works. Okay, so okay na tayo dyan. So the next question that I have over here, kasi when I tested the PTTFA, sinubukan kong request din ng PTTFA yung yung 5.56 rifle ko kasi gusto kong i-zero yung sight. Okay, so
mamayak si Charles yan,
Okay, so ngayon hindi nila in-approve. Actually, sinabi nila sa akin, pwede kong initially, tinurn down nila yung request ko for PTTFA. So marami akong firearms na request ng 3. Okay, so I think that was 1 pistol, 1 shotgun, tapos itong semi-auto rifle ko. So ngayon, PNP, yung nagpa-process nung PTTFA ko, in-approve niya yung 2. Sabi niya, for the 3rd, hindi pwede yon. Pwede lang siya if magsasama ako ng police escort kasi 5.56 rifle siya.
Ikaw pala yun, sir.
Ako yun. I mean, we gotta test it, right? So anyway,
ilang gabi hindi makatulog si Charles.
Alright, kasi gusto ko i-zero talaga. I mean, it's been years since I ever filed this. Kasi talaga, alam mo naman, nung pandemya, hindi tayo lumabas, di ba? I mean, what could I do, di ba? And, going to the range and test firing a 5.56 isn't really very super high sa mga list of priorities ko. Anyway, hindi nila pinayagan yung 5.56. So, ang nangyari, lumuha na lang ako, kumain na lang ako ng ice cream para maging masaya ako. Pero anyway, the question here is, Yun nga, dati kasi, yung ano natin, yung ban natin, was the, dati bawal yung bumili ng 5.56. And then bawal nang bumili ng rifle itself, the 5.56. So pareho nang bawal yon. So you can't, buy those anymore. Ngayon, hindi mo na rin siya pwedeng ilabas. So, paano nangyari? I mean, meron ba tayong magagawa doon sa part na pwedeng ilabas? Kasi right now, hindi na siya pwedeng ilabas based doon sa aking TTTFA application. And yung permanently temporary ban disallows of pretty much everything. So, effectively, yung rifle ko ay pabigat, paperweight na lang siya sa bahay, sadly. And meron ba tayong magagawa to reduce the strictness of this? Kasi kahit lumabas, hindi na ako pwede paputok ng 5.56 eh. Wala ba tayong would it be possible for us to reduce the strictness of that? Kasi I think it's unfair din dun sa mga ibang semi-auto rifle owners ng 5.56 sa Pilipinas na wala na kami pwedeng gawin sa 5.56 eh. We're effectively trapped at home with it. We can't pull it out anymore, and we can't buy ammunition for it. We can't buy new ones. We can't even take it to the range. So what do you think po dyan, Police Lieutenant Colonel Ma'am Verna?
Meron po kasi kaming sinusunod na MC or policy pertaining to the issuance of permit to transport firearms and ammunition. And then our policy, sir, is indeed nakalagay yung condition na nakalagay doon sa permit to transport and firearms and ammunition. Kinapi namin yun sa condition sa issuance ng based doon sa MC, and we can provide you a copy with that. Nakalagay talaga doon, sir, pag high powered ang light weapons yung bitbitin niyo, sir, kailangan may escort na 2 security guard or a member of the PNP. This is an offshoot na doon sa Presidential Directive 2017 sa time ni PRRD.
Yes.
I-limit yung pag-issue ng mga powered ang ginamit niya na term doon to only the military and the PNP. And meron na specifically nakalagay din doon said na selling of firearm bullets and are not allowed to mga civilians, sir. Kaya yun yung basis namin, sir. So, meron ba kayong magawa, sir? Meron bang magawa? Yes, sir. This is a presidential directive. Ang pwede lang din pong magbago nito, sir, is another presidential directive, sir. So, you can lobby to our good new president, sir. And I do believe, sir, based on my understanding, pinag-aralan na po ito ng Department of Justice daw. But yung mga gun enthusiasts as a group, pwede naman kayong mag-lobby, sir. Dahil under the law naman, sir, upon the effectivity of RA 10591, yung nakapossess ng light weapons upon the effectivity of RA 10591, they can continue to possess it, and as long as they will just renew the firearm registration ng firearm na yun, sir.
Okay. Out of curiosity lang, no, paano po makaka-acquire ng escort?
So, siya.
Paano makakukuha ng escort?
Sir, you can ask, kung mag-join kayo ng competition or mag-test fire kayo, sir, you can ask sa office namin, sir, kung may available kasi meron kaming nag-escort, sir. Or you can ask from the local police, sir, kung may available. Like yung nag-off duty, sir, pwede naman kayo.
Ayun, naka-off duty pwede naman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. May cost ba yun, ma'am?
Wala naman, sir. Wala namang cost.
Wala naman. Okay, sige.
Parang,
may comment.
Yeah, parang awkward lang, no? Magsushooting ka, may nakatanghod sa yung pulis sa gilid mo. Para may gagawin ka masama.
And then,
ano
din, sir, mga range officer, dito, sir, may magturo pa sa mga, at saka tuwang-tuwa yun, sir, kasama doon sa, di ba, sir?
Okay. Sige. Sa akin lang kasi nakakahiya lang. Medyo nahihiya lang din ako pupunta sa marami. Tapos, uy guys, samahan nyo naman ako. Mag-firing ako ng 5.56, di ba? Parang, I mean, I can do that. Okay? Kaya ko yun. And I will probably do that. Kasi gusto ko talaga mag-firing ng 5.56. Pero, sige, pasensya na kung medyo patigasan lang ng mukha minsan.
Kasi risk kasi minsan parang nakakahiya na nga. Lalo na pag bago ka, no? Or bihira ka mag-practice. Tapos may kasama ka. Parang, may nakatingin sa'yo, may ilang ka. Parang gano'n, normal reaction lang. Okay, Charles.
Ayun nga. Anyway, sige. So, siguro sa akin lang, sana may magawa naman para para medyo mabawasan yung na yun. Kasi, yes, we're gonna lobby it. Of course we are. Kaya lang, alam niyo naman, napaka-busy ni PBBM. the presidents usually are very busy, and we're gonna have to get in line for our concerns, which we will do. We're doing. Sana nga mapapanood. PBBM, pag napanood niyo po itong video na to, tulong po dun sa EO. So anyway,
Doc Lawrence, what can you say about this? PD cannot overrule RA.
Oo nga.
I've noticed that question also. Legally speaking, a presidential decree, an administrative order, or any written order cannot overrule an RA or a law legislated by the legislature and enacted by the president by means of signing it. However, in the hierarchy of rights, yung sinasabi natin na protection ng di ba? I think I have discussed this before. Meron tayong individual rights, saka meron rights ng common people. Ang ginagawa kasi ni Presidente Duterte during that time is to protect the rights of the people. It's true that he cannot overrule a law, but he just suspended it because under the Supreme Court decision or ruling of 1989 of Acosta versus Ochoa, the owning of firearms or even the possession of firearms is just a mere privilege as set down by the Supreme Court. And in having this privilege, the state can do whatever it is that can regulate our safety and the safety of others. Kasi even the justices themselves indicated in that ruling that we never had any constitutional right nor any legislative right to own and possess firearms. Therefore, it is a contract between the state and us. Neither is it even an ownership right over the property which we bought. Halimbawa, bumili tayo ng baril. Bumili tayo ng isang property, kotse, bumili tayo ng cellphone. May ownership tayo nito. Pero under the Supreme Court ruling, pag bumili tayo ng baril, kahit na pera natin ito, we never own it as a person or as a thing. Kasi there is a contract between the state and us na ikaw kaya ka lang may hawak na baril, kaya ka lang may ownership ng baril. Ang iniisip ng state is for the protection of everyone. Kasi yung baril is not just an ordinary item that you can dispose at any time. Kasi nakakamatay din yan. It can save lives, at the same time, it can destroy lives. The state, as the parents patri o taga-protekta ng karapatan ng karamihan na tao, has the right to remove that privilege at any time from you. Of course, under due process, dapat may due process yan. Hindi naman nila basta-basta makukuha at makukonfiscate yung pag walang due process, dapat may due process yan. So, yung ginawa ni Presidente Duterte during that time was reasonable and was proper. Ang question nga lang is nagtagal at hindi na-lift yung presidential directive na yan. The law enforcement agency like the PNP and the military cannot do otherwise until and unless there is a lifting of that presidential decree. That order or presidential directive will remain. So the thing that we can do as gun owners or as citizens and as taxpayers is to lobby. Tama po yung sabi ni ma'am. Maglalabi po tayo niyan. Yun po ang dapat nating gawin. Or kung gusto mo yung pwede mong i-question yan, i-petition sa court. Taxpayers, suit yan. Kasi tulad ni na ma'am, ang mga PNP, wala silang magagawa dyan. They have to follow and obey the law. The presidential directive. Kahit man gusto nila na i-lift yan, wala silang magagawa. It's still there until and unless that the presidential directive is lifted, it will remain. And we have to abide by it. So yun. We have to lobby or we have to file in court.
Okay.
In short, the law is harsh, but it is the law.
Yes.
We need to follow the law. Okay, Charles.
All right. So sige, salamat. So in the interest of time, we're just gonna go ahead with the other questions kasi marami na. Pero yun nga, I'm very thankful dun sa mga answers nyo. Sa totoo lang, hindi ko rin gusto na hindi na ako pwedeng lumabas ng may 556 ng walang police escort. Pero to be fair, as far as the PTTFA is concerned, tinawagan ako nung tao sa PTTFA at pinaliwanag niya sa akin. So at least dyan sa bagay na yan, I'm thankful na may nagpapaliwanag kasi medyo frustrating kung may nangyari na ganito tapos walang nagsabi sa akin kung bakit, di ba? So at least, okay naman doon. Anyway, maganda naman yan. And I think that this is a goal talaga that we have to work, together para ma-accomplish natin is yung pag-lift talaga ng PD na yon, which I think is long overdue. Kasi alam naman nating lahat na para sa Marawi dapat yun eh. Marawi is history. Yung Battle of Marawi, hindi yung lugar. Marawi is still around. It's being fixed. Tuloy pa rin yung renovation na bumalik na ang normal na buhay doon. Pero the Battle of Marawi itself, natapos na siya, but the ban has not yet been lifted. So anyway, yun lang sa akin. So, maraming salamat. So now, we're gonna move to the guest question. Okay? So Ma'am Berna, ito I think this is a good one. So ito, here it goes. Since we are paying for our firearm and LTAP renewal, especially yung ating PTC FOR, which he comments actually costs a lot. It costs a lot. Can the FEO divert some funds to actually help the gun owners and sponsor an event where gun owners will be invited and be given a refresher for firearm safety and seminar on when the gun owner is allowed to use deadly force? Kailan ka pwedeng gumamit ng barel to protect yourself? Yan. So, yes, we have a lot of resources, but basing on the Facebook group about firearms that I am currently a member of, some, if not most of the members are actually advising the wrong thing. And since it is being circulated amongst gun owners, they might actually believe it and be in big trouble when we follow the absurd advices from them. E.g., a vehicle is an extension of your house and therefore can bring your gun outside when you have a car. O nga naman, medyo parang ewan ko lang dun sa advice na yun.
Sa US,
suggestion to
kasi,
when a seminar... Ayun, sa US pala yan. Sige. So, suggestion to when the seminar can be given is during a caravan conducted by the PNP FEO. So yan, so may solution siya. Magkaroon ng seminar ang PNP FEO during a caravan para ipaliwanag yung mga bagay na yon. Because, to be fair, based din sa experience ko, Ma'am Berna, maraming mga gun groups sa Facebook sa Pilipinas. Alam mo naman tayo, Pilipino tayo eh. Hindi nagsisimula ang araw natin nang hindi natin in-open ng Facebook, di ba? Kahit anong mangyari, nagpupunaw na ang mundo, mag-check pa rin tayo ng feed. Check muna tayo ng Facebook. Pero, and I agree din naman, maraming mga hindi tamang information din yung nagsisirculate sa Facebook. And one of the best ways that this can be addressed is yun nga, magpa-seminar din sa PNP FEO during sa mga events. What do you think about this, Ma'am Bern?
Yes, sir. We are doing it, sir. Every time meron gun show. Meron talaga portion dyan, sir, wherein we ask the organizer na magkaroon ng parang information dissemination, sir. And then, sir, yung caravan na sinasabi, sir, way forward namin, sir, na ngayon, sir, nag-start na kami ng 3 region na kinonduct kami ng training, yung mga pulis talaga sa RCSU. Para every time na mag-conduct sila ng caravan, sir, aside doon sa mag-process, mag-assist doon sa nag-apply ng renewal, meron ding at the same time, sir, sila na yung yung gun safety seminar, sir, for the new applicant ng LTAP. Na at the same time, pwede open sa lahat, sir, para doon sa mga nag-renew while waiting or nag-fill in ng mga papel nila, naririnig nila yung ongoing na lecture, sir. So, yun yung way forward namin, sir, na yung nagkakandak ng caravan, which is yung Regional Civil Security Unit, sir, sila na rin yung magkandak ng lecture. Unlike sa nangyayari kasi ngayon, sir, during the caravan, sa iba sila pumupunta pa sila to undergo the gun safety seminar. Kasi under the law, 2 yung pwede mag-conduct ng gun safety seminar, sir. Una, yung PNP or the accredited gun club. So, yun yung namin, sir, ang objective namin ngayon, sir. Si PNP na, sir, during the caravan, para andyan na, sir, at the same time, pati yung nag-renewal, makarinig na rin sila doon sa updates, especially may mga updates tayo, sir, sa batas natin, sir. And then, very, sir, well taken yung sabi niya, sir, nasa caravan. Kasi yun talaga din yung way forward namin, sir. 3 region na po nagawa namin and we will do it nationwide, sir, na mag-accredit ng mga gun safety instructors sa nationwide, sa PNP, doon sa nagkakandak ng caravan.
Okay. So maraming okay. That's a very good input. Tsaka ma'am, ito may suggestion ako. Okay lang po ba, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Jason, I think we can do an episode na pag-uusapan natin, pwede tayong maglagay ng mga senaryo kung kailan ka dapat or hindi dapat gumamit ng deadly force gamit ang firearm. Okay lang po ba yun, ma'am? Pwede tayong magkaroon ng YouTube episode para dyan. Siguro mga 5 different episodes. At hindi episodes, 5 different scenarios. For example, may tao pumasok sa bahay mo.
Shoot
Shoot or no shoot.
Shoot or no shoot.
Kinukuha niya yung laptop mo o lalabas siya ngayon sa bahay. O, di ba, dala niya yung laptop. Pwede mo ba siyang barilin? Di ba?
Yeah, kasi Charles, sabihin ko lang.
Alam ko, hindi, di ba? Hindi mo pwedeng barilin yun kasi hindi siya threat sa buhay mo, di ba?
Yeah. Maski dito sa US, ganyan, may mga kumakalat din na wrong information regarding gun safety or how to operate your gun. Example lang, nung bagong dating ako dito, i-share ko lang mabilis. Sabi sa akin nung kapitbahay ko na Pilipino, dito sa Texas, basta nasa loob ng property mo, pwede mong barilin. Ha? Sabi ko, totoo ba yun? Buti syempre, hindi naman ako basta-basta maniniwala, no? Pero isa rin yun sa mga misconception just because na, yung lugar nyo maluwag sa baril. Hindi pwede. Ay, ando pa rin yung law, ando pa rin yung dapat yung self-defense, nandun pa rin yung mga ganong senaryo. Hindi yung basta nasa property mo, babarili mo na dahil nasa Texas ka na. No? Hindi ganon. So, hindi lang sa Pilipinas yung mga ganyang misconceptions, no? Regarding sa gun safety and gun ownership. Dito rin. So, mas maganda nga yan. Sabi ni ma'am, no? Right? Galing sa kanila, from the caravans and sana yun, magkaroon tayo ng episode din to help other gun owners and future gun owners. Kasi yung iba, bibili pa lang ng barel, pero kumukuha na ng idea yung mga yan. O si Doc Lawrence may sabihin.
Doc Lawrence.
Yan. Yung dinidiscuss natin, yan usually yung dinidiscuss ko sa Talk Coating, Gunshot, saka Tax Expo. And that has already been my advocacy since 1992. And give credit where it is due. Marami rin akong pasasalamat sa EMD, sa PNP-FEO. Dahil sila ho yung isa, kami ho yung matatandang na-train noon, ni na 5-0, ni na Mike Melchor, nung panahon pa ni, lalo na nung umano yan nung panahon ni General Daway. Ma'am, nandiyan pa ho ba si Sir? Nung time na yon, sina Sir Daway pa nung panahon na yon, sina Sir Suito, ewan ko lang kung nandiyan pa sila ngayon.
Retired na sila.
So, ano po? Retired?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, ang maalala ko, yung mga kasabayan ko, medyo sumalangit na po. Isa ako sa mga bata noon. Yung sinasabi ni ma'am na, ang PNP po nagbibigay ho yan ng lecture na ma-accredit ka na maging gun safety officer at saka range safety officer sa EMD po ma'am yun, di ba ma'am? O EMD?
EMD.
Ayun, sa EMD po. Diyan din po ako natuto noon time na yon. Tapos yung sinasabi niyo po, going back sa nagkakandak din ang PNP sa amin ma'am, sa office namin. At napapansin ko sa ibang lugar na pag may caravan ho, may instances na may bit-bit ho silang mga trained police personnel sa nagsusupervise at saka nagbibigay ng lecture sa gun safety. Kasi meron din silang bit-bit na ano naman kung bit-bit nyo ho yun o yung mga accredited gun store sa gun safety, mga first time nakukuha ng LTAP. Parang kinukulong sila sa isang kwarto bago kayo kumuha ng LTAP o mag-seminar muna ngayon ng gun safety. Ganyan ho yung ginagawa ng PNP. Just to give credit where it is due. So, yun po. Tapos tama ho yung sinasabi ni ma'am, I can attest to that na every gun show, every tax expo, nagkakaroon ho ng mga series of seminars. And one of the seminars that I have been doing is nga itong self-defense nga. When to shoot and when not to shoot. Pero palagi kong sinasabi, aside from ho doon sa libro na inaano namin is to know the law so that you can be safe. Kasi sabi ko, once na naghawak ka ng baril or any object na nakakamatay o pag-defend mo ng sarili mo, dapat alam mo na yan. Tapos, alam mo na ang consequences. Tapos, ang sinasabi ko pa, mahirap kahit na may baril ka, that is the last resort. And kung may mangyari man, get your lawyer. Yun palagi pong ina-advise, get your lawyer. Wag ho tayong maniniwala sa haka-haka, wag ho tayong maniniwala sa sabi-sabi. Let's talk to a lawyer or yung sinasabi nila na talk to an expert tulad doon sa PNP, alam ho nila yon. Kasi libre naman ho yan eh. Except lang kung may kaso ka na talaga. So usually ganun po. Thank you.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Okay, so sige. So sana nanonood yung audience na yun ngayon and nasagot na yung tanong niya. So very helpful. Maraming salamat po. Okay, so sige. So next set of questions na tayo from Doc Lawrence. So sige. I'm gonna... Okay, Doc Lawrence, very specific to mga questions mo. Sige. So I'm gonna go through this. So pakicorrect na lang ako kung may mali ako dun sa pagkakabasa. So under paragraph A, section 3, Republic Act 10591, very specific. Laser scopes and suppressors are considered as accessories. Why is it then not allowed to import these accessories from other countries and that you must have first a license from PNP and buy these abroad via Amazon or eBay? So yan. So this is a good question kasi times have changed, diba? I mean, everybody buys their stuff online now. Whether i-Gcash mo or mag-credit card ka, hindi na tayo pumupunta. I mean, hindi na uso ngayon yung pupunta ka sa physical store tapos bibili ka ng kung ano man yung gusto mo. Ngayon, puro na online. And parang wala na ring epekto yung sa ibang bansa mo yung binibili kasi lahat yan online. Wala namang pakialam sa'yo kung saan. You just have to pay the shipping and it will arrive. So very good question. What do you think about this question, Ma'am Verna, about yung pagbili ng mga accessories?
Yes. Okay. Sir, yes, accessories is hindi ka basta ma-import without the necessary license from the FEO. Kasi kung balikan natin yung provision ng batas, sino lang yung pwede dealer, sino lang yung pwede license manufacturer firearms. That includes accessories. Ito yung license to deal, sir. Si license to deal, dapat makakuha siya ng permit from the FEO. Si license to manufacture naman, sir, siya yung hihili ng permit from the FEO. And only the license to manufacture firearms kasama sa scope ng work.
I'm sorry po, medyo choppy lang yung line.
Sir, yung kasama sa license, sa scope ng license to manufacture ng firearms, is kasama doon sir to import the parts and accessories ng firearms.
Okay.
Hindi pwede si anybody can import without securing the necessary permit from the FEO. Kasi this is another regulated item, sir. Kasi kung hindi naman natin to i-regulate, sir, baka naman po makabili ng kahit sino yung mga kriminal dyan, magkaroon ng suppressor sa kanilang mga high-powered firearm na mga hindi pa siguro registered yan, sir. At magamit naman sa masama, sir. So, this is a form of, yun nga sa General Welfare Clause, na yun nga sa safety and hindi siya basta-basta ma-purchase, sir, without the necessary permit. Nasa batas din po, sir, na to secure the license to import is dapat meron kang permit na license to manufacture, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Nasa section 14, sir, ng RA 10991.
Alright. Sige. So, siguro sa akin lang, ang point ko lang dyan is, yung iba kasi, I mean, it would be, how should I say, medyo mahirap i-define kung ano yung mga firearms accessories. Kasi may iba sa kanila yung mga red dot sight, yung mga iba airsoft lang, pipitsugin na, alam mo yun, yung tag-1,000 lang na hindi mo siya pwede i-compare sa aimpoint, okay? Yun talaga pang military talaga yung mga Comp M4, ACAG from 3G Con, daming fake na ACAG. So, siguro yun, I mean, I hope na, that's a gray area para sa akin na siguro dapat na lang, hopefully, with the revision of the law na maano. Kasi lahat ngayon, binibili na natin online eh. So, it would be great kung makakabili tayo ng accessories online. Maybe not the suppressors, pero at least man lang yung mga scope na red dot. Ano?
Yeah.
Kasi common na siya eh. I mean, once upon a time, sobrang rare niya. Magkaroon ka lang ng ACAG nung unang panahon, nako, astigin ka na para ikaw yung pinakamagaling na sniper, super soldiers ng bayan, di ba? Pero ngayon, ang dami na niya.
yan ang pinagdidebatihan ngayon dito sa US, no? Yung mga accessories. Although yung iba available online, pero yung iba regulated like pistol brace, suppressors. So, ang pinagbabasihan kasi pag if it's in common use na palagi naman talaga ginagamit, and it doesn't make the firearm more dangerous, more powerful. Hindi naman niya pinapalakas kunyari yung 9mm mo eh, kung lalagyan mo ng red dot, di ba? Or kung lalagyan mo ng suppressor. And yung suppressor kasi, ano talaga yan, misleading. Kasi hindi naman talaga nagiging totally silent. Hindi naman talaga totally silent yung baril na ginagamitan ng suppressor. Meron pa rin konting sound yan, no? Actually, nakakatulong pa nga daw yan because
sa hearing.
It prevents hearing loss. In Europe, na napakahigpit sa baril, required actually ang suppressor pag magpupunta ka sa shooting range. No? Kasi nga daw yung hearing, no, na ano, and plus hindi mo maabala yung mga katabi mo pag nag-shooting ka. Yun lang yung ano namin dito sa side namin.
Okay, so sige. So maraming salamat sa mga input. Alright, so next question na tayo, in the interest of time. Ito, so number 2 from Dr. Lorenz. Why is Section 7.5 of the 2018 revised IRR not yet being implemented? So ito yung PTC F4R for sport shooters. Ano po ba yung sagot dyan? 3.
Sir, talk to the Chief for Secretary Nina ay nag-start and she informed me, sir, na implemented naman po, sir. In fact, pangatang pinakita sa akin, sir, na MC na effective niya, sir, is 2022, which is nakalagay doon, sir, na pwede
Pwede na.
Pwede na.
The MC, sir, is a standard operating procedure para 2020-0.
Sorry mga medyo choppy lang po yung
choppy.
Lang po ba pa kayo?
2020-09, sir, February 20, 2022. And pinasa ko po yung nakalagay talaga dito, sir.
2022.
Po, sir. Nakalagay dito, sir, na PTC form may be issued to a licensed sport shooter covering a maximum of 3 firearms at any time, inclusive of the allowed quantity of ammunition. As stated in the RRR, he should be only authorized to carry 3 firearms during the shooting competition and during practice. So, meron, sir, pwede daw po, sir. Sabi ni Ma'am, Police Lieutenant Colonel Judy Palicos. And may binigay din po siya, sir, na hotline number nila, sir. Should in case meron pa kayong follow-up question sa kanila, sir. Kasi, as a, sir, hindi kasi under sa FEO po yung PTC4. Under po siya sa Office of the Chief PNP. Ang office nila is PTC4 Secretariat. But I coordinated kanina, sir, for very nice.
Wow. Okay, that is good news.
Hindi siya under ng FEO, under siya ng Chief PNP.
Yun.
Yes, sir.
Chief PNP.
Ma'am, personally, pasensya na ho
Yes,
personally,
sir.
Nagpapasalamat po ako dyan sa information na yan. Kasi every time na minsan pumupunta ako dyan, pag nagtatanong ako, hindi naman ako na-inform. Although yung pag nag-apply ako kasi ng PTC, bayad ko 200 lang eh. So, sabi ko, sige pa, PTC ko na nga lahat yan. So, I am ignorant of the fact that it's already been implemented and that's a good news for us sport shooters.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that information, ma'am.
And then, may naalala din ako sa inquiry din. Ma'am, yung sport shooter, ang rounds na ammunition ang pwede i-apply. Implemented ba yan ngayon, sir, ma'am? Na-implemented din po, sir, sa PTC4. For sport shooter.
1,000 rounds?
No, sir. 500. Sir.
500 rounds, yes.
Okay, there you go. Maraming salamat. So, good news yan.
Parang binalik nila yung kay Senator Bato dati. 500 rounds per PTC.
Okay.
That's good news. Really good news.
Sige. Ay, may tanong pala dito, si Jet Tactical. How much PTC F4R sport shooter? Dr. Lars, alam mo ba kung ano yung sagot dito? Sport shooter PTC F4R? Hindi ko alam yung sagot dyan. Anyway, sige.
Sir, kaya ko lang yung hotline number nila, sir, para doon.
Number.
Oh, yes, of course, ma'am. Salamat po. Pa-send na lang sa akin sa Viber or you can directly message Dr. Lawrence. Pero either way, if you send it to me, I'll cascade it to everyone.
Opo, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, sige. Maraming salamat. Okay, so sige. So, we're pressed for time, so I'll just proceed with question number 3. Who may avail of the PTT and in what instances can we avail it? For example, for practice shooting or competition only? Okay. I think Dr. Lawrence related to this sa preceding question.
Ignorant din ako dyan. Sorry.
Sir, based doon sa MC namin, sir, na ino-observe the PTT, lahat, sir, ng basta meron siyang LTAP, meron siyang active din valid din po yung firearm registration nila, pwede po silang maka-apply ng PTT. Individual, licensed individual at saka juridical entity, sir. So, kasama na rin po ang law enforcement agency, sir. So, anong purpose, sir? Pwede transport to residence, pwede practice shooting, pwede test fire, pwede repair. Yun yung sa mga security guard, security agency naman, sir, for posting. Yan naman po yung nire-request nila, sir. Dealers naman, sir, is for deliver or for display or for test fire naman yun sa kanila, sir. So, yan yung ano natin, sir, doon. Kailan sila pwede mag-apply. And then, ano naman din, sir, ang ano lang natin dito sa PTTFA, sir, is meron lang kayong predetermined route, sir. Dapat ma-identify, sir, saan kayo galing, at saan kayo pupunta, and bawal po ibang way, sir. So, i-identify nyo po doon sa request.
Side trip.
Road trip ka sa buong Pilipinas, ano, bago ka pumunta sa fire.
Side trip eh.
At lang din, sir. So, sa sport shooter, sir, pwede hanggang 15 days. Sir. Basta ma-specify.
15 days sport shooter.
The rest,
Alright.
sir, lang,
Yeah, go
sir.
ahead, go ahead.
Sir, is test fire lang. So, 1 day lang yun, sir. Kung dito lang naman, sir. Diba, sir? Or kung delivery lang din naman siya, sir, or travel to, transport to residence, depende naman yan, sir, kung sasakay ka ng barko or sasakay ka ng aeroplano at saka yung distance naman yung i-transportan niyo, sir. So, yun yung mga conditions, sir, pag-apply na PTT. So, ilagay niyo lang doon sa letter need purpose, plus LTAP at come apply for the PTT for firearms.
Okay, maraming salamat po, ma'am, for that very good answer. Sige, so move on na tayo sa final set ng questions. So, kay Jason na tayo, mga points dito. Maybe we'll read a few of the comments kung may time pa tayo. Pero overtime na tayo, guys. Ano? So, pasensya na if we're gonna have to end this too soon kasi nakakaya naman kay ma'am na overtime na.
Oh.
So, sige. So, number 1 from Jason. So, Jason, alam kong very concerned ka sa sa gun safety. And advocacy mo to, Jason. So, ang question ni Jason is, meron bang programs ang PNP in general, including na rin si PNP FEO, for gun safety? Meron ba tayong mga seminars or anything like that?
Parang natas siya ni ma'am kanina yan regarding sa mga
meron to sa mga diba? Sa mga events.
Pero ma'am, ito, may dadagdag lang ako. Kasi recently may mga balita, no? Sa news na, aksidente na barel, naglilinis ng barel, naka-aksidente ng
naman tayo, mga naglilinis,
mga naglilinis ng barel, loaded eh. Tsaka naka-trigger finger eh. So, may ginagawa ba yung PNP or may future program to address this? Kasi lahat tayo apektado.
Yes, sir. Sa presently, sir, yung namin, sir, na talaga, sir, ang program lang natin ngayon, for those who are new applicants for license to own possess firearms, one of the requirements, sir, is they must undergo the gun safety responsible gun ownership seminar. So, yan yung present natin na program, sir. And then, yun nga, sir, na dapat continuing sana sa continuing. Kasi, lalo na pag mga bagong, lang yan, sir, bagong mga gun owners, sir, hindi naman nila ma-absorb lahat yan, sir.
Yeah,
or
in
during
one sitting.
Sir, hindi din interesado pa at that time kasi interesado lang talaga makabili ng barel.
Excited pa sa barel.
Yes, sir. So, yun yung namin, sir, na dapat continue kung corporate na natin talaga, sir, na may regular na gun safety seminars, sir, sa mga respective RCSU, sir, para kahit i-play lang ulit yan, sir, kung EDP ready na namin, i-play lang ulit yan, sir. Habang pag andun sila, sir, ma-educate, ma-review sila, sir, doon sa mga safety rules, sir, in firearm handling, sir, at saka yung cardinal rules sa safety ng firearm, sir. Yun yung way forward namin, sir, na ma-implement sa mga RC. Once na kompleto na namin lahat ng mga regional civil train sila.
Yeah, so ang nakuha ko kay ma'am, no, dapat continuous tayo in terms of gun safety. Hindi yung porkit nakuha na yung baril safe ka na. No? And plus, ito, sa mga makakapanood ng video natin, doon sa mga gun owners and future gun owners, huwag kayong mahihiya to call the attention of others pag may nakita kayong mali na ginagawa, lalo sa range, no? Huwag kayong mahihiya, huwag nyo sabihin na, magaling na yan, pabayaan nyo na. Hindi. Pag mali is mali. Dapat, di ba? In terms of gun safety. Basic yun, hindi yun nagbabago ever since. No, yung basic gun safety natin. Okay, Charles, go ahead.
Okay, sige. Maraming okay na tayo dyan, Jason. Siguro sa akin, mamaya na ako magko-comment doon sa susunod na question. Pero oo, ako personally dyan sa safety, go ako dyan. Kasi importante talaga yan. Every time na may namamatay or may nasasaktan dahil sa safety violations ng firearms, I think it hurts the community as a whole. Kasi nagmumukha tayong unsafe at trigger happy, reckless, and it gives the media plenty of ammunition to use against us to make us look bad. At ayaw natin yon. I think it's very important na maging safe tayo sa lahat ng bagay na ginagawa natin. And Jason, alam kong malaki kang advocate ng gun safety. So I think this is a good step forward talaga na magkaroon tayo ng mga safety refresher course. Yun lang. So sige, so susunod na tayo na question. So, Ma'am Verna, what is the view of PNP on civilian gun owners? So this is a question ni Jason. Jason, feel free to add context kung ano ba talaga yung kung ano yung na to.
Yeah, gusto ko lang makita yung sa side ng yung Philippine environment kasi dito ilang beses na akong nahuli traffic stop, no. So pag binibigay ko yung ID ko, yung yung license to carry ko, no, pinapalusot ako ng police dito kasi they view us as what do you call this? Ano nga tawag doon, yung
force multiplier, support.
Yeah, force multiplier. Yun ang tingin nila sa amin dito na hindi kami pabigat, nakakatulong kami in terms of pagkailangan nila kami, no, na legal gun owners. So gusto ko lang makita yung perspective ng PNP sa Pilipinas.
Yes. Actually, sir, tuwang-tuwa kami pag may mga gun owners. So, yung responsible gun owner, yes, totoo yan, sir. Parang pagiging partner namin sila, sir. Kasi bawas na yun sa babantayan namin, sir. Knowing sa population ng PNP, hindi talaga pa na. Oo, sir.
Ma'am, choppy lang po yung line.
Apo, sir. Yung ratio ng PNP towards the population, sir, ang layo, sir, hindi talaga namin kayang bantayan ang buong komunidad. When I was the chief of police sa isang city, Davao region, yun ang hirap na problema namin. Bantayan first. Kaya malaking tulong yung mga gun community, sir, kasi alam namin, sir, na bawas na yun sa babantayan namin. At sa case na may mangyari sa malapit sa amin, mag-responde kami, sir. Kampante din kami na posible pwede itong tumulong sa amin. Yung isang istasyon namin, sir, na inatake, ang mga nakapaligid, sir, na may mga baril, nagpaputok na sir, eh. So, yun yung namin, sir. Yes, partner, sir. Partner namin kayo, sir, in preserving the peace and order sa community.
It's good to hear coming from the PNP, na gano'n. Parang example ko sa mga kababayan natin, if I am in a room with strangers, and alam ko na legal gun owners yung tatlo doon, hindi na yun ang titignan ko. Ang titignan ko yung iba. Yung parang panatag na ako, may kakampi ako. Parang gano'n ang perception ko. Si Doc Lawrence, may sasabihin.
Doc Lawrence.
Ulitin ko ulit yung sinabi ko noon before pandemic kasi there were times na pumupunta ako sa Cubao area na alam mo naman from our place Santa Mesa to Cubao magdadrive ka imbes na abutin ka lang ng pag by car abutin ka instead na yung travel time mo lang is 10 minutes to 15 minutes minsan isang oras kalahati. So ang ginagawa ko noon nag-LRT ako sa station. Ang ginagawa ko noon, sabi ko may dala nga nakalimutan ko, may dala pala akong firearm. So, may sa bawat LRT station, meron yung mga pulis na nakabantay diyan dalawa-dalawa. Ang sabi ko, sir, paano ba to kasi pupunta ko ba bit ko tong ko. Ang sabi nung pulis, in fairness, mga courteous sila, at mga batang-bata. Sabi, sir, meron ba kayong license, firearm license, may LTAP, saka may PTC? 4, sabi niya. Hindi nilabas ko. Ganito, sir, sulat yung pangalan nyo rito. Pero malang, naglag lang ako. Tapos, pagkalag ko, pinasakay na ako dire-diretso na. Sabi ko, nagulit ako. Pagbalik ko, ganun din. Nakangiti na naman ako. Tapos nakangiti na naman siya. Sir, ganun. Sabi niya. Ako yung kanina. Sir, sabi ganun. So, yung sinabi ko na magandang situation na nangyari na very friendly ang PNP. Saka yun nga, yung sa pag may firearm, basta may kompleto kang papeles at magta-travel ka through LRT, yun ang naging experience ko noon, before pandemic. I think it's
Basta,
still being done now.
Yeah.
Legal ka lang.
Basta nandun ka sa legal side, wala ka dapat ikatakot. Kasi yung sasakay ka, Doc Lawrence, tas pawis na pawis ka na. Kasi may dala ka pa lang, illegal. Yari ka.
At saka dapat ikaw na yung ikaw na gun owner, dumunta ka na sa kanila.
Ikaw mag-approach.
Inform mo na sila.
Ikaw
ikaw na mag-approach. Yun na importante. Kasi
Similar dito, sir, i-share ko lang din, no? Kasi parang courtesy daw yan sa police dito. So, pag ako, yun nga, traffic stop, ina-inform ko na agad, sir, meron akong license. Kasi, ang perspective daw ng police, hindi kanya kilala. So, natatakot din siya, hindi kanya kilala eh. So, hindi alam kung masama ka o mabuti. So, usually, hahawak pa nga yun sa duluhan ng bar kasi hindi kanya kilala eh. So, pag nagpakilala ka, binigay mo yung card mo, at least ma-ease yung tension. Kung ikaw takot sa police, takot din sila sa'yo. Parang gano'n lang, vice versa lang.
Sige. Ako, personally, pagdating sa mga gun owners, I trust them. Kasi when someone has a firearms dito sa Philippines, may LTAP ka, I know for a fact that you're not doing drugs. You are of sound mind. Kasi pumasa ka sa neuropsychiatric exam, sumusunod ka sa batas, at maaasahan ka. Kasi hindi mo naman makukuha yung license mo eh. Kasi ako, kumukuha ako ng license.
Basta-basta.
Alam ko, mahirap yan. Hindi biro yan. Mas mahirap ang kumuha ng license dito ng firearm ng LTAP kaysa sa passport. So, I know for a fact, diba? Totoo po yan eh. Tapos, meron ka ring police clearance. So, alam ko wala kang criminal record, diba? So, when I see a gun owner, hindi ko iniisip na, ano ba yan? Mautak pulbura or something like that. Hindi ako ganun. Ang iniisip ko, this is someone that I can trust, di ba? Kasi gano'n naman yan eh. I think that is a core foundation that we should have pag naging gun owner, guys. Matuto ka magtiwala sa batas, tsaka doon din sa ibang gun owners. Kasi otherwise, wala eh. Tayo rin yung mahihirapan kung hindi tayo nagtitiwala sa isa't isa. So at least that's just how I feel. It's a trust. And pag nagka-LTAP ka, ibig sabihin no, nagtitiwala din sa iyo yung state. Nagtitiwala sa iyo ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas, di ba? So that's a good thing.
Ka. Okay, number 3.
Sige, so number 3 na tayo. So, ma'am, ito po, what percentage of guns in the Philippines is illegal? Do we have answer to this na meron tayong estimate? Ano ba yung definition ng illegal dito? Jason?
Hindi, kasi parang may napanood ako sa documentary, no, na ilan na ba yung gun owners yung gun sa Pilipinas, and then majority daw doon is illegal. Parang sabi, majority is illegal. No, yun lang na pumasok sa isip ko na since meron ba tayong parang kahit rough estimate lang or wala tayong pwedeng diyan na pagkukunan.
Yes. Sir, total registered owner natin, sir, is 2,122,343 po, sir. So, ito yung total registered owner, sir. Of which, sir, yung illegal na sinasabi natin, sir, una yung expired, yung license revoke, license block. Kasi pag revoke yung license mo, sir, automatic revoke din yung firearm registration mo. So, yung loss, kasi nag-create pa rin
loss.
Sorry, may maingay.
Yes, sir. So, yung loss na firearm, sir. So, yun yung mga sir. So, in total, sir, as we see it, sir, there are mga 900 plus thousand, sir, of the 2,122,343. Siguro, sir, mga 44%, sir, yun yung mga illegal natin na, or sabi namin, sir, na loose firearm, sir, na nasa, nag-circulate sa labas, sir. And then, our program to that, sir, is yung narinig niyo siguro yun, sir, yung pinupuntahan sa bahay ng mga local police natin. Then, we also katok yun, sir. Sabi nila katok, sir. And then, we inform them na based on records, yung firearm nyo po, registration is expired na. Ano yung option na pwede nilang gawin? So, the option nga pwede nilang gawin, sir, is hindi nila, kung hindi pa sila ready mag-renew dahil marami instances pwede, sir, wala pa silang time. Mas passport kaysa mag-apply ng LTAP, mag-renew. So, kung hindi pa sila ready, all you have to do, sir, is to deposit the firearm. Kasi kung nasa possession nila yun, sir, that's illegal. Or i-renew yun, sir, as soon as possible. So yun yung initial namin na ginagawa talaga, sir, kinakatok. And then, afterwards, sir, pag hindi naman sila nakinig, hindi nila dineposit, so that they will be the subject for police operation na, sir. Yung lalo na, sir, no, kung nalaman namin, sir, na nandun sa kanya yung firearm. Kasi during the katok, sir, or the initial firearm verification, kung nalaman namin na patay na pala si owner, and then yung mga naiwan is wala talagang alam. So yun, ang tinuturuan naman namin sila, sir, on how to delete or how to delete the firearm, sir, para hindi sila balik-balikan, sir, ng mga kapulisan. So, ang pag ganyan, sir, napatay na, so they have to request lang naman, sir, na informing the FEO na patay na yung may-ari, and then proof nun, sir, is death certificate, and then with an affidavit, sir, na hindi talaga nila nakita yung baril or hindi man lang nila na nakita kahit buhay yung licensee. And then with that, sir, igawa na naman namin yan ng resolution, sir, na patay na yung tao, sir. So ilagay lang yan doon as tag, sir, na lost, wanted, lost yan siya, sir, ang nilalagay namin. Para should in case ma-recover yan saan man, sir, na kaninong tao, that's illegal, sir, or that will be another ground, sir, para filean ng tao, sir, ng illegal possession of firearm. So yun yung ginagawa namin, sir. Another din, sir, is yung pagkaraban, conduct ng karaban. Kasi yun nga yung rason, sir, ng iba, sir, na hindi nakapag-renew kasi walang time. And then our FEO, sir, is meron lang tayo sa mga regional offices. So wala tayo sa mga provinces. Kaya through sa Caravan, sir, kami na yung, it's our services na we'll be bringing to the community. So yun yung Caravan namin, sir, na we will see to it na as much as possible, merong Caravan sa isang province, sir, in a month sana. Yun yung way forward namin. Para makater talaga namin yung mga taga-province na nandoon, sir. And then another, sir, is yung way forward namin. And then siguro, sir, anytime this month of April is i-open na po namin yung RCSU at saka ang itong FEO, sir, dito one-stop shop dito sa Klame ng Saturday or Sunday or both days, sir. Para yung working, hindi nila kailangan, sir, na absent, just process yung firearm registration natin, sir, at saka yung L. So yun yung mga development namin na nakikita to address ding maraming unrenewed firearm natin.
I'm very happy to hear na magbubukas na siya pag Sabado, like big time. Okay. So sige. Alright. So
nagkakamay si Sir.
Go ahead.
Ang isang experience ko po sa MOA. Sa MOA, ang bilis po doon. Halos ko konti yung nagre-renew. Doon, hindi mo na problema yung parking dahil ang laki ng parking. Yes. Number 2, siguro yung experience ko yun sa LTAP saka exam, mga 35 minutes lang. Tapos na. Tapos pwede ka nang mamasyal. Kasi sa Krame, 6:30 pa lang, nandun ka na sa buntot, baka hindi ka pa na makapark. Di po ba, ma'am? Hirap ng parking. So, MOA na lang po, MOA.
Yes.
Mga nasa Metro Manila.
Including MOA, sir, yun yung proposal ng... By the way, sir, we have the new director sa CSG. He is also a lawyer. He is Police Brigadier General Benjamin H. Silo Jr. So, maganda siya, sir. Yun talaga yung una niyang marching order, sir, is the significant reduction of the loose firearm in the country. So yun yung, kaya yun yung yung mga nag-up na kami ngayon, sir, ng technical working group namin, aside sa mga programs namin, sir, na mas pa-improve pa yung services namin, sir, para to entice yung mga gun owners, sir, na mag-avail doon sa mga services natin and to bring this to yung as much as possible, sir, abiding sa ease of doing business natin na batas, sir, na pabilisan. So, kasama yung MOA, sir, na mag-open sila, sir, either Saturday or Sunday, sir.
Ay, thank you, ma'am.
Ako, masaya ako doon. Bubukas na ng Sabado. Laking tulong. At least hindi na mag-leave. Kasi yung problema is, alam mo naman, pag yung leave mo convertible to cash at nag-leave ka, isang araw yung mawawala na sahod.
Yes.
Pero dahil dyan, pwede mo nang gawin pag Sabado. So, napakalaking tulong po. So, maraming salamat. Okay, yun. Now, okay, so that totals all of the questions. So, ma'am, ganito, sobrang dami po nating comment dito sa comment section natin. Guys, pasensya na kung hindi na natin sasagutin yung lahat na to kasi I think ang dami na nito tsaka overtime na tayo. Ma'am, question lang po. Maraming nagko-comment about inside the waistband carry. Pwede po ba tayo magkaroon ng episode about concealed carry at yung mga tamang paraan kung paano gawin yon? Bakit oo, bakit hindi? Okay lang po ba sa future episode? Mama na po yan?
Yes, sir.
Uy, salamat. Nako, magandang bagay yan. Sige. Alright, so sige. So I think that's it, ano? So,
that's
maraming
it. Parang
salamat
refresher sa mga ano.
Refresher. So, marami pang comments dito. Guys, mention na masasagot na pero overtime na tayo. Kaya naman din na ma'am. Tsaka, yun nga. Kanina pa natapos yung shift niya. So, sige. So, pasensya na po. So, yun. Sige, salamat. So, ma'am,
last words na tayo.
Last words na tayo. Sige, start po tayo, ma'am. Sa inyo po.
Yes, sir. Half of the director of the Civil Security Group, sir, Police Brigadier General Benjamin Silo Jr., our Chief FEO, Police Colonel Paul Kenneth T. Lucas, sir, and other FEO personnel, sir. We are very glad, sir, of this opportunity, sir, na within which na impart namin, sir, especially, sir, na yung mga dapat malaman ng mga stakeholders natin, sir, on the services that we are rendering, sir, at saka ano yung legal basis namin dito, sir. Kasi gusto nila namin ipaabot, sir, na meron po kaming sinusunod din kasi ng mga policy, kaya merong minsan may misinterpret kami na stricto siya, sir. Pero behind it, sir, meron naman po kasing purpose niyan, sir, which is for the good, common good ng community na. So, but rest assured, sir, na pag may mga concern, lalo na yung may mga tanong, sir, pwede naman nilang i-address na lang diretso dito sa FEO namin na online, sir, sa Facebook page, sir, para masagot namin, sir. Or they can contact, sir, yung hotline namin sa FEO officer. I-send ko din po sa inyo, sir, pati yung sa PTC4 Secretariat na hotline, sir. So again, thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity.
Alright, I'm very happy.
Alright, thank you.
Nagawa natin tong episode.
Doc Lawrence?
Thank you po uli sa pag-invite po sa amin. Sana po magkaroon po tayo, ma'am, ng pagkakataon na kung pwedeng on a regular basis. Depende po sa inyo, ma'am.
Ay, yes,
para
sir.
maging para marami ho tayong magpapaliwanag, ma'am. Kasi most especially galing po sa PNP ang paliwanag, ma'am. So mas authoritative po kayo sa mga ganyang bagay, ma'am. Thank you po. At saka thank you rin, Charles. Thank you rin, Jason, sa pagiging, ano ba tawag nito? Pag-i-invite nyo sa akin palagi. Thank you. Salamat po.
You're welcome, sir.
Salamat.
Charles.
Okay, so sige. So first off, magpapasalamat po ako sa inyo, Ma'am Verna. Napakalaking bagay po itong second episode natin na ito. Ako marami akong natutunan, ano? Yeah. Nagulat din ako, dami akong natutunan. But Dr. Lauren, go ahead, ma'am. Ano po yan?
Ako din po, sir. May natutunan din po ako sa episode natin from your end.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, yan. So, natutuwa ako, marami natutunan. And I'm sure marami rin matutunan ng mga audience natin. And at least, guys, ito, this is the correct source talaga. One of the very few occasions na magkakaroon tayo ng correct source of good information from the PNP FEO. Kasi, isa rin sa mga gusto ko rin gawin po, mama, no? And for our audience here, is, ayusin din natin yung mga hindi tamang information na kumakalat online. Marami din nun eh. So, we have to clear that up para hindi tayo magkaroon ng misunderstanding that could get us into trouble. So I think this episode goes far and above and beyond that mission. So maraming salamat po. And yun nga, if you are interested dun, please subscribe, guys, sa channel ni Jason o sa Rizal Adventures, sa channel ko na Philippine Ricochet Line. For updates. So yun lang. Maraming salamat.
Okay. Ako naman, let's wrap it up. Thank you sa guest natin, kay Ma'am Verna and kay Doc Lawrence. And syempre si Charles for organizing this. And ako rin may natutunan. And hopefully mga kababayan natin, marami rin natutunan. Ito yung magandang episode kasi may kasama tayong lawyer. Although, wag yung as legal advice to kasi case-to-case basis dapat. Sabi nga ni Doc Lawrence, pag kailangan nyo legal advice, maghanap kayo ng lawyer nyo. Okay, lawyer up. Kasi ito, in general lang yung pinag-uusapan natin. And then, thank you din kay Ma'am Verna dahil galing mismo sa PNP yung sagot, di ba? Hindi ito yung ginugol lang natin or haka-haka. Diba? And hopefully, ma-share natin sa mga ibang kababayan natin na gun owners and future gun owners. Hindi natin matatakil lahat sa isang episode, 2 episode. Ang dami pa pwedeng pag-usapan. And then, marami pa mga questions talaga. And ito lang ang takeaway ko, no, as a gun owner, kahit nandito ako sa kabilang panig ng mundo, no, pag tayo parang gigil na gigil tayo na parang gusto natin gisayin ng PNP. Pero tignan niyo on the other side, yung side ng PNP, di ba? May nakakuha din ako doon sa isang comment na their hands are tied because of the directive, because of the law. Hindi yan basta-basta one snap, ganito gagawin namin. Diba? Paluluwagin natin yan. Hindi maganda. So dapat maganda yung in partnership tayo sa kanila. Work with them, no? Kasi sabi nga ni Charles kanina, pag may nangyari na accident or whatever, no, lahat tayo as a gun owner naapektuhan kahit papaano. So that's it guys. Hopefully nag-enjoy kayo. Tatapusin ko na yung video na to. Salamat po and see you next time. Bye.
Alright, maraming salamat. Next time ulit.